Hello. I wanted to talk about the movie Batman vs. Superman. And I decided to rewatch the movie and I decided to watch the other version, the newer version of it. I forget what it was called, but I rewatched it and again, I still think the movie is still pretty good. I know there seems to be a lot, especially online, that say that it was a terrible movie, one of the worst superhero movies. And I would have to definitely disagree. I thought that Batman vs. Superman was honestly a work of art. And as a DC comic book fan, over Marvel, I would have to say that there's a lot of good things about the movie. There's a lot of like visual references. I guess like for instance, like Superman's kind of almost like a character that's almost based off of religion, specifically like Christianity, which I think is pretty interesting and cool to me. Though he's not supposed to be like Jesus necessarily, but I think he kind of symbolizes sort of like the savior of the world because like Superman is almost unbeatable, but his only weakness is kryptonite. But it's like Superman is a god in a sense, and a lot of the DC superheroes are supposed to be like gods. Like Wonder Woman is based off Greek mythology. Batman is more I'm not sure what Batman's supposed to be. I know he's like very like obviously he's like one of the more intelligent superheroes. He's a detective. But Superman on the other hand, I just was watching another video how Superman, is almost like described to be like the devil in like Batman's eyes. And so Batman wants to like take him down, and he's like basically like almost like Batman sees himself as the savior because he's trying to take down Superman, who like apparently had like done a lot of damage to the city, and probably a lot of innocent lives were taken. And not that Superman was doing it on purpose, he was fighting Zod at the time. And I just have to give a lot of praise to Zack Snyder for like his movies because I feel like there are just a lot of cool references. And I know I think he's supposed to be I'm not sure what exactly he believes in as far as religion goes, but anyways, like, not that I'm saying that religion is a good thing or anything like that, but I like his just the references and everything like that because I am Christian, although I don't say I'm religious. But anyways, yeah, there was just like I don't remember this, and maybe this was in the more this was in the Ultimate edition of like Batman versus Superman, but there was like this really cool scene where Batman was fighting in a warehouse, and that was so epic. Like, I just kind of like imagine like Batman like fighting in like Arkham Asylum, like those video games, and I just like that's like so Batman. And I love like Ben Affleck's Batman because he looks a lot like an accurate like depiction of what Batman really is like. Like I like the Dark Knight trilogy, but I think like Ben Affleck's Batman looked pretty accurate to like the comic books, and just in a way was almost a little bit better in a way, just because the accuracy. And yeah, I would have to give props to the warehouse scene. Also, like, there was, I guess, like, another thing that I noticed was that Batman was killing, in the Zack Snyder version Batman, and I just thought like, yeah, like superheroes in DC Comics aren't really supposed to be killing, and something that Batman doesn't really do. But then at the same time, during Batman's like earlier, like his earlier moments as Batman, I believe he has killed in the comics, but then he had to like, you know, stop that and not be killing anymore, because then he would be considered like a villain. But he has killed before, but only in like earlier comics, and then he had to completely stop, otherwise he would have been like a villain himself. So anyways, so technically Batman has killed, so I think it is okay that he did kill in the Batman versus Superman. Not saying that it's okay, but like you know, because he has before. But I think like, you know, Batman stopped eventually. Also, I have like my personal opinion about Lex Luthor was he is quite an interesting choice. The actor is an interesting choice. I actually did not dislike him. I thought he was pretty good and entertaining. He seemed kind of like very intimidating and honestly scary, and kind of like different from like your usual like Lex Luthor's like from other films and stuff like that. He's definitely different, an interesting choice for sure, but I actually still liked this version of Lex Luthor just because he was intimidating. I think he was kind of scary at times, and something about him, there was like that reminded me of like the original Lex Luthor was like he was intelligent, he was a bad person and so like I think the actor did a really good job as Lex Luthor. What else? So yeah, so overall I would say Batman versus Superman is a good movie and I enjoy it, and you know, I just I'm just a total DC comic book fan, although I do like Marvel too, but definitely not as much as DC. But I would have to disagree with a lot of people, and that's okay because I have an opinion and other people have opinions. And see, what's different about like, you know, the DC films in recent years are different from Marvel films, because I feel like DC films just like they feel like they are like art in a way, because there's a lot of symbolism and there's definitely some dark tones, which is to be expected because DC, I believe, is a more darker company compared to Marvel. And comparing like Marvel films and DC films, I feel like Marvel films are kind of like the fast food of movies, which they are tasty, delicious, and safe, because it's like, oh yeah, who doesn't want like nachos from Taco Bell or a burger from Burger King, you know? Like, to me, Marvel movies are like fast food. Like, it's still like really good and common thing to eat, but like to me, like it's kind of like a funny comparison, but like DC is more like sushi, or like a better, like healthier cuisine where it's like it's different. And I think that's why I like DC films more than Marvel films, because they purposely choose to be different. They're not like Marvel where it's safe, and sometimes there's a lot of humor in like Marvel films, and like there are like some serious tones, but definitely more funnier parts of the Marvel films. And it's like, you know, because they're superheroes, they should be taken more seriously, and I think the DC movies have taken themselves more serious, although there is one particular film that did not take itself serious at all. I'm talking about, I believe it's called Batman and Robin. That was bad. But anyways, that's one film that was not very good. But anyways, I still enjoyed like the rest of those old Batman movies, like the original Batman movie, the one movie with like the Penguin and Catwoman, and then after that where there was the Riddler and Two-Face. Those were good films, but the one afterwards, the one after was not good. Which had like Poison Ivy and then Batgirl or something like that. That was not good. And Captain, was it Mr. Freeze or something like that? I don't know. But anyways, but overall, I would say the DC films are definitely more serious and more interesting. And yeah, so that's my review on Batman vs. Superman. If you are a DC comic book fan, I definitely recommend it. Yeah, and the visuals, of course, are really good. There's just a lot more depth to Batman vs. Superman in comparison to, say, like Civil War. It's just, I like the darker tones. I, in general, like dark stuff, honestly. So that's probably why I liked Batman vs. Superman, because it was definitely dark. And I liked it. It was really good. I like dark stuff. So anyways, yeah, that's it.